Hello, I'm Camelia, and this is KiniNews. DAP lawmaker Kelvin Yee has called on Wan Ahmad Faisal to provide evidence over his claims that Malaysians had to sell their kidneys to make ends meet.
DAP's Bandar Kuching MP Kelvin Yee has called on Perikatan Nasional lawmaker Wan Ahmad Faisal Wan Ahmad Kamal to show proof of his claim that some Malaysians are forced to sell their kidneys to make ends meet. Describing it as a serious allegation, Yee pointed out that selling organs is illegal and said that Wan Faisal has to report it and highlight the syndicate behind this. He said Wan Faisal must file a report with the authorities if he had information about such incidents. He added that if Wan Faisal is merely using the claim as an example, then it is irresponsible, cheap politics. Wan Faisal had made the allegation at a press conference in Parliament yesterday when pressing the government to approve another round of Employee Provident Fund withdrawal. The Machang MP courted brickbats after a clip of his remarks went viral on social media.
Dia dijelaskan kalau tidak dapat memberikan keizinan pengeluaran bersasar, apakah cadangan lanjut daripada kerajaan untuk membantu rakyat yang susah, yang resah, sampai ada yang kena jual buah pinggang yang datang berjalan daripada Johor sampai ke Istana Negara pada hari ini.
Similarly, PKR MP Sim Zin said that as a lawmaker and former deputy minister, Wan Faisal had a responsibility to substantiate his claim with evidence. Putrajaya has rejected another EPF withdrawal on the ground that it would endanger the retirement savings of those who are nearing retirement age but are financially insecure. The government has instead allowed struggling EPF contributors to use their account too as a means of support in securing a loan from banks.
Dr Mahathir Mohamad has agreed to Anwar's request for an extension of time to reply to his letter of demand.
Dr Mahathir Mohamad has given Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim until April 17th to respond to his legal letter. This came after Anwar's lawyers asked for an extension. In a statement yesterday, Law Practice of Rafique, which is representing the former premier, said Mahathir had no objections to the request. They added that their client also reserved his rights in the present claim. In his letter of demand, dated March 27th, Mahathir gave Anwar until April 3rd to prove his claim that the former premier had amassed wealth to enrich himself when he was in power or face legal action. Mahathir was referring to Anwar's remarks in his policy speech at the PKR's Special National Congress 2023 on March 18th. Though Anwar did not mention names, he had referred to a person who, after 22 years and 22 months of being in power, is lamenting about Malays losing everything, losing assets, shares. Mahathir claimed this was a clear reference to him as media reports on the speech had mentioned his name.
Still on Anwar and Dr Mahathir, a past lawmaker has cited the difference between their administration's action against political rivals in his statement of defense against a defamation suit by Anwar.
Past lawmaker Awang Hashim filed his statement of defense against Prime Minister Anwar's defamation suit yesterday. In his statement of defense, Awang made a comparison between Anwar and former Prime Minister Dr Mahathir Mohamad's administrations in relation to their respective dragnets against political rivals. He argued that it was the time factor which he had referred to in concluding that Anwar is more vindictive than his predecessor. Awang said Mahathir's first act after becoming Prime Minister in 1981 was to release 21 detainees under the now defunct Internal Security Act. He pointed out that the infamous Operasi Lalang crackdown under the same security law during Mahathir's tenure, which the former premier has denied orchestrating, happened 6 years after he took office. On the other hand, he said Anwar's political rivals were hauled to court within 3 months after the latter became Prime Minister on November 24, 2022. Awang alleged that the criminal charges against former Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin and Bersatu MP Wan Saiful Wanjan contradicted Anwar's claim of not practicing politics of vengeance. He also noted how Anwar had stopped making statements against UMNO President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi's role in the littoral combat ship scandal after the two formed an alliance and the latter was appointed as Deputy Prime Minister. He claimed both situations bring about a clear conclusion that Anwar's government would try to protect or delay the resolving of any issues involving current political allies, but would be quick and stern against political rivals, especially PN. Anwar had filed a defamation action against Awang over two allegations. The first was that the Tambun MP is more vindictive than former Prime Minister Dr Mahathir Mohamad. The second is on the claim over the legitimacy of Anwar's appointment as the 10th Prime Minister. Awang has cited justification and fair comment in his defense.
Zoraida has hit out at Wan Ahmad Faisal and told him to watch his mouth. This was over his claims that she tried to rejoin Bersatu after GE15.
Former Ampang MP Zoraida Kamarudin has denied that she tried to rejoin Bersatu after the 15 general election. She said this in response to a Free Malaysia Today report that quoted Bersatu Youth Chief Wan Ahmad Faisal Wan Ahmad Kamal as saying that Bersatu rejected an application by Zoraida to rejoin the party after GE15. Zoraida told Malaysia Kini that it was not true and she had only mentioned that she would support PN in the upcoming state elections. She stressed that she was for a multiracial party and added that Wan Faisal better watch his mouth. She said she would reach out to Wan Faisal to clarify the matter. In the report by FMT, Wan Faisal was quoted as saying that the decision to reject Zoraida's application was unanimous. According to the Machang MP, Zoraida's application was rejected as she previously refused to step down from her ministerial post after quitting the party. She had been appointed to the post under Bersatu's quota. Zoraida joined Bersatu after she was sacked from PKR in the wake of the Sheraton move in 2020. After leaving Bersatu, she joined the newly formed Parti Bangsa Malaysia, but she was subsequently sacked from PBM following a power struggle with its president, Larry Sung. She's currently the deputy president of Muafakat Nasional, an NGO founded by former UMNO leader Anwar Musa. Zoraida had failed to retain her Ampang seat in GE15 and even lost her deposit.
Law Siu Hong's ex-husband was fined 20,000 ringgit today for contempt of court.
The High Court in Kuala Lumpur imposed a 20,000 ringgit fine on the Muslim convert ex-husband of single mother Law Siu Hong for contempt of court. The court ordered Muhammad Nagaswaran Muniandi to pay the fine within 14 days or face a jail sentence of 14 days. In reading out her judgment, Judge Evrol Marriott Peters ruled that Nagaswaran had interfered in the administration of justice. The civil court family judge said that his conduct showed that he tried to evade being served copies of the contempt application. When met outside the courts today, Law's lawyers said they were very happy as justice had been served to Law over what she had to go through.
Yang Arif Marriott actually clearly highlighted what actually happened in this matter, because the sole custody care control was given to the mother. Despite she's having the custody, the children were not returned to her. They were taken away, they were converted, and she has to come to, even go to the criminal court, file habeas corpus and get back the children.
On September 20th last year, the court granted an ex parte application for leave by Law to initiate committal proceedings against Nagaswaran, who has been accused of abducting their 3 children and registering them as Muslim converts without her consent. Previously, on February 21st, 2022, the Kuala Lumpur High Court had allowed Law's application to be reunited with her 3 children. Law also has a separate legal bid to nullify the conversion of the children, which is set for decision before the High Court in Kuala Lumpur on May 11th. Meanwhile, Nagaswaran's counsel M. Vimal filed an application to stay the verdict, pending their appeal to the Court of Appeal. However, the court has yet to fix a hearing date for the stay application.
Muhammad Faisal Hamzah, the son of opposition leader Hamzah Zainuddin, was charged in the Seremban Sessions Court today over violations linked to the cooking oil subsidy.
The son of opposition leader Hamzah Zainuddin was charged in the Seremban Sessions Court with 9 counts of violations in relation to the cooking oil subsidy. According to a report by The Edge, Muhammad Faisal Hamzah was charged along with Azizul Abdul Halim with allegedly providing false information by producing fake invoices on the purported sale of the subsidized cooking oil to a local retail company. This purported violated Section 8(4) of the Control of Supplies Act 1961. Both men were directors of Rimba Merpati Sendirian Berhad, a wholesale cooking oil license holder. It was reported that the invoices were deemed fake following a raid conducted on the company's premises last August 11th and 12th. The duo were also jointly charged by the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living enforcement officers with possession of more than the limited amount of 50 metric tons of cooking oil on the Rimba Merpati premises in Sinar Andala, Senawang. That is a violation of Regulation 9(1) of the Control of Supplies Regulations 1974, which is punishable under Section 22(2) of the Control of Supplies Act. Both men claimed trial to the charges read to them on behalf of the company and charges read to them individually as its directors.
PKR President Anwar Ibrahim has reminded party members of what the party stands for. He said this in a message marking the 24th anniversary of PKR's founding.
Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has reminded his party members that power must be exercised wisely. He said this in a post on Facebook marking the 24th anniversary of PKR's founding. In the post, Anwar said that PKR is based on a strong spirit of reform, and he always reminded everyone that power is a form of trust and not a privilege. Therefore, he said the rights and welfare of the people must be paramount in shaping policies. He added that the tasks and responsibilities that party members carry today are a trust that they must shoulder diligently with the goal of bringing meaningful change. Parti Keadilan Nasional or PKN was formed on April 4, 1999 by Anwar's family and supporters following his detention pending the completion of his trials for abuse of power and sodomy. In 2003, PKN merged with Parti Rakyat Malaysia to form Parti Keadilan Rakyat. Meanwhile, Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fadzil, in his message to mark PKR's 24th anniversary, reminded party followers of the party's multi-ethnic approach to politics. He said PKR will fight for everyone regardless of religion, race or gender. Fahmi also wished for PKR to continue to progress and strengthen for the sake of Malaysia Madani.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Kimilia. Thanks for watching.